Alright, so we're going to look at the second part of factoring trinomials now. So in the previous section, you had factored trinomials that had always 1 as the coefficient of x squared. So the leading coefficient was always 1. So what we're going to do now is look at situations where the leading coefficient is something other than 1. You'll be pleased to know that the process is exactly the same. There's not a whole lot of difference. So let's just get right into an example. So let's look at 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. So my first step is still exactly the same. I multiply the leading coefficient term, so in this case it's 2, by the constant, so it's 6. So 2 times 6 is 12. So I'm going to list my factors of 12 now. So I could use 1 and 12, negative 1 and negative 12, 2 and 6, negative 2 and negative 6, 3 and 4, and negative 3 and negative 4. Of course, same as before, what I'm going to do is take this middle term and split it into 2 pieces. So which of these pairs of numbers add up to give me 7? It looks like it will be the 3 and the 4. So what I'm going to be doing is splitting the 7x up into 3x plus 4x. Okay? So again, the purpose of that is to take a trinomial, which has 3 terms, and turn it into something that has 4 terms so that we can take 2 pairs of brackets like we do at the end of the process. So the 7x gets rewritten, so I end up with 2x squared plus 3x plus 4x plus 6. Again, 4 terms here. I group the first 2 together, and then the last 2 terms. This ends up giving me a common factor here. So 2 and 3, they don't really have a common factor, I guess 1. X squared and x have a common factor of x. So I factor out an x. Alright, x times what gives you 2x squared? Well, this is really a 1 right here. So 1 times what gives you 2? 2. X times what gives me x squared? X. And 1x times what gives me a positive 3x? Well, that would be a positive 3. The second pair of terms here, I've got 4x with 2. Might be able to see that there's a common factor of 2 in there, so plus 2. And 2 times what gives you 2x? 2 times what gives you 4x? So that would be 2x. 2 times what gives me 6? Plus 3. Again, you see common bracket of 2x plus 3, so I write that down, and my other bracket ends up being x plus 2. So as you see, not a whole lot changes. The only thing that's different is one of these brackets at the end has like a number in front of the x. That's all. Let's maybe do one more, and then that should be good for the second part of factoring trinomials. So let's go with 2x squared minus 9x plus 9. Alright, so the first step, multiply 2 by positive 9. Of course, this gives me 18, right? So I need to find the factors of 18. There are quite a few of them. So I've got 1 and 18, 2 and 9, and 3 and 6. So 1 and 18, negative 1, negative 18, 2 and 9, negative 2, negative 9, 3 and 6, negative 3, negative 6. Okay. Which pair of numbers here adds up to give me negative 9? So 1 and 18 give me 18. That's not right. 1 and was not 19. Sorry. 1 and negative 1 and negative 18 give me negative 19. 2 and 9 give me 11. Negative 11. 3 and 6 give me a positive 9, but I need negative. So that tells me that negative 3 and negative 6 will be the pair of numbers that I want. So I'm going to be taking this term and writing it as negative 3x minus 6x. And remember, the order of these two terms doesn't really matter. because they're both negative, so that means when I go down through the process here, my third term will be negative anyway. So the order of these two don't matter. So I'm going to end up with 2x squared. Instead of the negative 9x, I write negative 3x minus 6x, and I have my plus 9. So common factor for the first two, 2 and 3 don't really have a common factor, so x squared and x, common factor would be x. X times what gives me 2x squared? 2x. X times what gives me a negative 3x? Negative 3. Always watch your signs. My third term over here is negative, so I'm going to factor out a negative common factor. And 6 and 9 have a common factor of 3, so it will be a negative 3. Negative 3 times what gives me negative 6x? Of course, that's positive 2x. Negative 3 times what gives me a positive 9? Of course, that's a negative 3. So as you see, I have the same common bracket here. So I will write down that term, so 2x plus minus 3, sorry. And what's left over will be x minus 3 for the other bracket. Alright, so that's how you factor trinomials where the leading coefficient is not 1.